Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to iCarly. My name is Jay, or yeah, Jay. You can call me Jay. And I,
I'm Splotch.
yeah. And I guess third person. Reveal yourself.
Hi, I'm Sock. I'm from Australia.
Yay, Australian representation. We have two in this server now, technically, but Rue doesn't really appear very much. So
Diversity. We love to see it.
I keep trying to get Joe Pigeon into the other group to actually talk in a VC once because he's British, and we've never. I feel like in any of my groups, he's like legitimately the first British person to really like be there. So it's like I want to show people that British people are real.
They're
Are they
fake.
though?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I saw a tweet today. By the way, we're live. But fucking whatever. Hi guys, welcome to Battle Knights. I saw a tweet today that was like a British person complaining about American cheese and like, oh man, Americans call this cheese, blah, blah, blah. And somebody, shit, fuck, hold up. I wanna bring it up so I can actually not fuck this up because I completely forget exactly what it is. Hold up here. Here it is. Yeah. The original tweet is, "It's so funny how Americans don't have proper cheese. LMAO. Like, what is this? Are you okay?" And somebody replied, "If you called them salty melties, there would be a stack of them in every English fridge." Which I mean, like they call whipped cream squirty cream. So
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Like that's way to ruin.
63.
Way to ruin it.
I
Wait,
always
what do
just
you
think
call it,
about
Sock?
Simpsons joke. 63 slices of American cheese. 63. Oh, 62.
Anyway, that's our pre-game cheese talk. Welcome everybody to Battle Knights. This is our second iteration. We have one awesome battle for you guys, and then we're going to be going over some of the previous battles, doing some interviews, just chilling out for a little bit, probably an hour and a half or so.
We
So
have we have our first spam in the chat. Let's go.
here, let's get this up. All right, cool. It's still all perfect. Yeah, we have our two competitors waiting here. We have Tara again, who was on the last on the last Battle Knights, and we're gonna have him in the first person POV this time because he was in the third person POV the last time. And we have Nick, who is coming off a clean sweep, a 6-0 win against Wild. So we're looking at some titans of the league here. Yeah, we were thinking we were talking about who we think is going to be the first Pokemon out for each team. I guess you guys, if you guys want to throw out some guesses here to go over what you guys think are going to be their first throw outs.
I believe I was thinking Toxapex for Tara, just because of the spikes, in order to set up the field. I'm not quite sure what Nick might throw out. There's a lot of opportunities here, but you never know.
Tara did lead off with the Mega Cham last time, but I feel like that'll be a difficult ask with having to face down a potential lead of Lardy or Slowking, or even perhaps a Tornadus. And Mega Cham will have a bit of a tough time trying to get through that wall. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Pex on Hawk's side. I'd probably expect to see Latias or perhaps Rotom Heat, just trying to get something that could perhaps scout out and then switch out if it finds itself in a bad situation.
All right. Also, everybody at home, just let me know if the audio is kind of weird. I typically have it the audio scaled down a little bit for the battle replays that I put up on the YouTube channel. Which, if you are watching there, make sure to subscribe.
Cringe.
I have
Before
a
we talk
family
about
to
this, we need to
feed.
talk about our sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends.
No.
I man,
wish.
I was gonna continue that, but I have no fucking clue anything about Raid Shadow Legends, so you are completely on
Shadow
your own.
Man here, do some battles, win some things. I don't know why my wife left me.
I'm sad. Buy Shadow Legends, except you don't buy it. Buy my crate boxes on Raid Shadow Legends with promo code colon parentheses in the way that makes it frown.
Just type it out.
Colon open parenthesis.
C-O-L-O-N.
Open. There it is. All right, so I think enough of pre-gaming. I think we can just go on and tell them that they are ready to go.
Let's see this, folks.
And my dog's coming in, so if you heard the door creak, that was my dog.
Everyone say hi to Scout.
Hi, Scout.
Hi, Scout.
Gaming.
We are now gaming, everyone.
Well, we're waiting to game.
Hopefully.
I could message them on Discord like I did last time because I know I had to do that.
Yeah, that might be a good idea. I don't know if they pay attention entirely to the chat on Pokemon Showdown, so...
It'll be fun to talk to Nick after this because, I mean, obviously he usually commentates on these, so it'll be really fun to see.
Yeah, one thing I found
Alright.
also interesting, Nick's actually changed out most of his team. He's only retained Lucario and Veladios.
Interesting, as we see the
Greninja-
Ribombee
Yep.
come out first
Ribombee.
against the Celesteela. Oh!
Focus Sash, wow! Good use of Focus Sash, immediately getting down to 1% there.
That heavy slam, though, is extremely harmful, and that Ribombee is immediately out, and immediately the Toxapex gets switched in here, so maybe those spikes that Splotch was talking about are going to come out right here.
Yeah. The Sticky Web actually is going to be super important, I think, because I think only Celesteela and Galamoltres will be unaffected by it, and Megacham losing that third of its speed could be crucial in other matchups.
Oh, man, my
I
dog
think
is
that
very
definitely
mad.
does set Nick up, and I think even if that Pokemon got down to 1%, if Nick is able to utilize that dip in speed, it'll be able to turn the tide for him, I think.
Sorry.
I'm actually curious because I've never actually been someone who's used webs before, and I'm not sure if he'll have any way of clearing it.
It doesn't get cleared by something like a defog or a rapid spin.
Let's take a look.
We're contacting our researcher so far as the Will-O-Wisp goes off on the Toxapex. That's pretty huge. You can get that chip damage
Knockoff.
on something with that much defense. That's always helpful. But yes, the knockoff takes off the Choice Scarf, which is something of a concern for Nick because Choice Scarf helps a lot in these sorts of situations.
Can we talk about Easy Bake, Oven, Rotom?
I love
Fantastic naming.
I love Rotom so much in every way. I name mine Luca because it's like a name that I randomly picked for my old Rotom in like 2012, so it's more sentimental than anything that makes sense.
Fair enough.
But I completely I go against that. I contradict that by then going ahead and naming my Chandelure WD-40 because I imagine it creaks a lot as a haunted
Jake,
chandelier.
been told your audio is a little bit loud.
Okay.
Oh, Volt Switch onto Noxia. Very good, especially with the burn because that's going to take away an additional amount of its health.
Yeah,
Not
I'm
looking great.
pretty sure this Pex has Black Sludge, so the burn damage will just be neutralized there. But it will still basically mean that Toxapex doesn't have any passive recovery aside from being able to use Regenerator.
Right.
But now he's got to think, what do you want to go into? Because Toxapex could lay down a Toxic, could lay down the Spikes, could go for a second knockoff. We saw an Ice Beam tech previously goes into the Slowking.
And there's a second knockoff.
Another knockoff.
Super effective, but does not do a lot against that bulky Slowking.
It is good to get rid of Nick's items. Which
The heavy
makes it
duty boots,
difficult for him.
especially
Yep.
if you're a Toxapex that has a Toxic Spikes sort of move, that makes sure that this Slowking cannot go against the effects of that of any sort of entry hazard, including those Toxic Spikes. As we see
Absolutely.
the Zeraora come in. I always hate that Zeraora and Zorua are two Pokemon that are completely different.
Sounded very much similar. So as you guys can see, it doesn't have the slow about like the reduce of speed underneath its HP bar. Do you guys know why?
Well, we know that Zeraora is a Pokemon whose entire reason for being, its entire shtick, is to be speedy. So that is definitely interesting. But Volt Absorb is its ability because there's only one possible ability that it can have. So that is very interesting. I'm wondering if something happened earlier.
It might be heavy duty boots.
Oh, that's
Oh,
true.
that
That's
could be.
true. There you go. Yeah, there could be heavy duty boots on this Pokemon as well. We know that the Slowking just lost those, so those are
Yep.
very common in the meta. So
Yeah. One thing I did note as
Oof,
we get
super
the
effective.
we get the kill on
Slowking
the
goes down.
Slowking. Oh, but this feature sight hits it not enough to kill the Zorua, however. So now Nick is
Pressed,
suddenly
I
looking
guess.
very pressed back for this one. But it's still early in the battle. Who knows what will happen? If anybody can come out of this, it would be Nick. So very exciting, though. We know that Tara had a difficult time against a very strong team of the Detroit Dragonites with Becca. So it's interesting to see him come out here and fight as hard as he has at the very beginning. As Frostlass gets sent out, immediately gets that speed reduction. So I would assume.
Oh,
Oh, the
wow.
focus
Never
sash,
could
yeah.
use a focus sash.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I would assume that Zorua has the heavy duty boots then, because
Yeah.
I mean the webs are still in
It did.
effect here.
Which
Mhm.
means this Pokemon very likely may go down because if the speed is reduced with a Mega when facing against a Mega, this Pokemon will not be able to get a hit off before it's attacked again.
Now
Yeah.
we might see Tara sacrifice this Frostlass because at the end of the day, it is very important that this Mega Lucario gets dealt with as efficiently as possible, and if that means maybe sacrificing to get that turn off on it, yeah. And as you can see, the
Yep.
Frostlass is down, so we might see maybe. What do you think?
Tactical choice coming out.
A Medicham?
Um, Medicham,
Yep.
yeah. Yep.
So it might be Mega. Well, will be Mega versus Mega. So this is very exciting.
Yeah, so he has to spend a turn initiating the Mega, unfortunately, which gives
Oh,
Nick
it
a
actually
great chance.
it does not spend a turn. So
Oh,
if
it doesn't. Good.
yeah, so but also the Medicham could very well be slower. So it could very well feel like a turn is being spent against this Lucario because Lucario has a huge opportunity to be hitting first. It probably will be hitting first. Oh, and the Lucario gets sent out. And now we see the Tornadus, who is super effective against a fighting type like Medicham, so we might see another switch out here.
Got some chip damage from that Rocky helmet. I found it interesting that let's just check this. Yeah, okay. So Mega Lucario there tried to go for the bullet punch to basically guarantee the kill on the Zera Aura. Kara tried to revamp thinking maybe they'll go for a fighting move or perhaps extreme speed by going into the Frostlass. I'm not sure if extreme speed is actually still in Gen 8. But after that, bullet punch still hitting for the ×2 and popping the sash, and then with the extra priority, Frostlass had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
100%. And now, as you can see, there's that switch out. Taro will take
That
his
was a good
time.
resist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. But as you can see, Nick also expected the switch out. So I thought that maybe he would try to set up if this Tornadus had moves to set up with. But it looks like instead he opted for the U-turn. So now he will have his choice of Pokemon to face the Celesteela. I'm going to guess maybe the Rotom, considering it has those Fire-type moves, that Fire-typing. But there's a few ways to go. This Lucario can come back out and deal some fighting-type attacks to really give the Celesteela a problem.
Even with a flying resist, but also, memory serves, Celesteela is very physically bulky. It would have a difficult time. Now, let me just double check my stats. Yeah,
There comes
just
the Rotom.
slightly more
Yeah, there's
physically
the
bulky.
Rotom.
So go into the special attacker with Rotom.
The leftovers healed up that small percentage for their Celesteal. It's very likely Nick's going to try and use one of his fire-type attacks on this in order to get through that. And then to protect from them... Yep,
Oh, that's beautiful because
that was
okay.
very good.
Yeah.
Because Overheat, I'm pretty sure is one of those attacks that will reduce stats if it, but I guess only if it hits, so it doesn't
Right.
doesn't work
Yep,
through protect.
-2 on the overheat. Also interesting, I noted, Noxia doesn't actually have a black sludge on it. Makes you wonder how Toxapex has been itemized. Very likely still a regenerator as it comes back out now.
Another swap in.
And it misses.
A tough miss on Overheat.
I think Tara wanted that hit at the end of the day because the Overheat, if it does hit, does bring those stat reductions, and Tara would be looking for that with a Toxapex, which is very bulky and resistant to an overheat. So this is, in a weird turn of fate, this is worse for Tara that the attack from his opponent missed.
He wants that
Mm,
negative attack
And now I
on
have the Volt Switch.
Rotom.
Yeah.
yeah.
So we're going to see.
Probably thought Nick was going to go ahead with overheat again, but
So yeah, so we see Nick having a lot of those pivot moves, and now we have Tornadus who has a pivot move of its own. So Nick is in total control here when it comes to switch outs. He can switch in and out of that Rotom and Tornadus as long as it suits him. So
Oh, Rocky Helmet.
that's what I guess is happening there. And oh, we see Lucario out now with that U-turn. So we might see the Medicham come back in. Oh no, we're gonna see the Moltres.
Interesting.
Now this is a very new Pokemon to the meta, so there's a lot of discussion, I guess, to still see what's the best way of using these Pokemon, which always is fun. So I'll be very happy to see how Tara uses this Moltres.
I also was revealed that Toxapex had a Rocky Helmet. I'm not sure how I would feel about Rocky Helmet against this team because it doesn't seem like there's a lot of contact that's generated from this side.
Ooh.
Oof. A tough close combat.
The Mega Lucario takes the stat hits, but I mean, at this point, with as much of a lead that Nick has generated here, he can just switch out Lucario and get those stat hits reset, no problem. So if I were,
that was, I believe, a range, but was more likely to kill than not kill.
if I were Tara here, I think my best bet here would be to predict the switch out because I don't think Nick really has any reason to keep the Lucario in if he doesn't have to. I don't know if this Medicham can set up with anything, but if it can, this is the time to do it, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Nick does have to be careful with the debuffs in both defense and special defense. However, because it is a Mega, it's not as vital. But if he can avoid taking damage and using up some of his other Pokemon, that might be the play. We haven't seen Latios come in at all, I don't think.
That's true. And I don't think Latios would have much of a problem against anything that's left on Tara's team. We do have... I mean, Nick has 5 Pokemon here, but that's with a huge asterisk because the Rabombi is at 1 HP. I don't see it being much of a threat moving on with this.
Yeah, but the Tornadus is at near full and it goes to it.
Oh, what a read! Tough. What a huge read from Tara. Packed the Thunder Punch just in case, I guess for the Tornadus specifically. And that's a huge turnaround for Tara. I don't know if it'll be enough to turn the battle in his favor, but that is what I would consider
the 3 versus 3.
That's what I would consider the move of the match. Rabombi gets sent out with that 1 HP. We'll see if it's faster. Maybe it has something up its sleeve. Because it is a bug type, and against psychic types, that can be dangerous. At this point, I think Tara might take a chance. Nope. He will not.
Interesting.
Oh, Quiver Dance. So Nick knew that was going to happen. And now it's going to get the baton pass. So now all of that will go to the Latios.
Uh-oh.
And this is dangerous. I mean, if I were Tara there, I would have just onslaught on that Rabombi, try to see what would happen, because at the end of the day, you're in a tough spot, so you might as well trust your Pokemon to maybe take a hit and then get that.
Absolutely. And that was a good use of Baton Pass. Keeping that that Pokemon alive just for that is a very solid move, but risky.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point, because like I was wondering what does Rabombi have up its sleeve to specifically keep it alive at 1 HP, and that was it, that Baton Pass. That was a brilliant move by Nick.
Yeah. Also, I thought it was curious that go for the Flamethrower, because I don't think Rabombi would have any recovery moves. Perhaps it would have been better to just go for the Heavy Slam, lock yourself into it, and would have hit Velarde even harder.
Yeah, exactly. You have to predict maybe a switch in, and use moves to that with that in mind. So that's exactly right. He probably could have benefited from using a move that would more attack everybody in a strong way. As you see the Latios go down and Celesteela survive. So
yeah,
it's probably Latios taking down the tank that is Celesteela. Otherwise,
Oh, beautiful.
It's not
So
much more to do.
Celesteela gets a little bit more health there with the protect. The volt switch is denied, so the Rotom is still out there, but
Mm,
it might go ahead and overheat now. That knows the Celesteela might be
yeah,
staying
I
in.
think no matter what it does, I think it's got a good chance of getting the kill here. Well, sans Will-O-Wisp, of course. There's the overheat. It lands.
Takes the special attack cut. Not that I think that the Rotom will stay out because of the volt switch being an option.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you
Now
guys
the
think he'll
question is,
spot?
what do you
Oh,
go to?
Latios. Latios, either that or
Oh, Latios has fainted.
no, sorry, not Latios. Lucario. That's my bad.
Yeah, I would think maybe. It is kind of interesting though because Metachamp at the end of the day is set up to deal, so that's why he sent in the Rabombi instead
Yeah.
because
I
of the
just
high jump kick.
realized that last Pokemon was uh-oh in all lowercase, and then Latios was uh-oh in all uppercase, which meant he was kind of planning for that.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Shit, yeah, that's entirely right. That's probably what he wanted to do for a while there. Nick's
Mm-hmm.
scary. Oh, and that close combat ends up getting the kill, and now we only have the Zerora with 10% left. I think this
Oof.
might be GG's.
This is probably very likely GG's.
And that
And there you
it
go.
is. Nick pulls out the
Yeah.
win after a hard fought battle with Tara. I went back and forth for a while. At one point, it looked like Tara was the favorite to win the battle, but it shifted at the end in Nick's favor. I think at the end of the day, this is a fantastic battle either way. And yeah, I think this doesn't. I mean, Tara's 0-2 here. I don't think that shows his skill nearly. I think that he's going to hit himself a good spell later in the season because I think it was clear that he had a top heavy schedule with a lot of really tough battles at the
Absolutely.
beginning. But that just means that at the end of the schedule, there's a lot of battles that he might have a good chance of winning. So,
Absolutely. Playing against Becca first round is tough because Becca does have experience, and same thing with Nick. So being able to move forward and not having to worry about playing against such tough people, I think we could see Tara in the semifinals.
yeah, 100%.
Badly.
I just realized I've had Chandler Charizards written as Chander Charizards in the stream.
Oh well.
Oh, well. Change that now. We're going to take a quick break and then we're going to talk to the battlers. And I think we're going to start with Tara first because I think Nick will want to come on and talk about all of the battles that have passed. Or I think there's only two, but the two battles that I've passed. But we're going to take a quick break. So stick around, everybody, and we'll be right back.
See ya.
back to Battle Nights. If you missed it, we just had a battle between Tara and Nick, two of the league powerhouses. If you want to go see that battle and how it played out, you can go ahead and watch the VOD, which should be up on Twitch right now, and I'm going to later put it up on YouTube with everything that we're going to do from this point on. It was a fantastic fight, and we're going to now go into interviews. So we're going to go into talking with Hawk and Tara first, or Nick and Tara. Sock was calling him Hawk, so it rubbed off on me. I think I called him Hawk yesterday, too, when we were playing Among Us.
Yes.
So I'm going to bring in Tara first, and we're going to talk to him about everything. Hi, Tara.
Hello.
Man,
Fun match.
Yeah, that was a great match. I would say congratulations on a valiantly fought effort. I think like there was just as many moments in that match where you looked like you were the favorite to win as much as Nick was, and just at the end it managed to tilt in Nick's favor.
Okay.
It was very close. It was very good.
I was on the back foot for most of that until I got the Tornadus out on a predict.
Yeah, that's one of our questions that we want to ask you about, because that was what I thought was the play of the match, that Thunder Punch. Obviously we were thinking about it, like we were like, all right, Tornadus is probably going to come back in here. He has a sort of cycle he's doing here with the Rotom and the Tornadus going back and forth with U-turn and Volt Switch. And then you pulled out the Thunder Punch. So was that specifically for the Tornadus that you put that in your moveset?
And just if you brought something weak to it that made, because they didn't want to bring Ice Punch for like Rotom and Lucario and the other stuff. So I was like, yeah, Thunder Punch.
Thunder Punch worked.
That's fantastic, because I know we were thinking about what like Thunder Punch versus Ice Punch, but that's good to think to hear, because we were looking at the Latios and we were like, Ice Punch might have been better against the Latios, but I mean you brought up the Slowking.
Oh, it was never gonna be facing the Latios if I could help it.
Fair enough.
That is true. Yeah, the Psychic. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, Thunder Punch. Yeah, I guess that was the better way to go. I mean, obviously you brought out that Medicham a lot against the Lucario. You were going to try to high jump kick it to death. Didn't work out, sadly. We really liked the idea of these two big megas facing each other. I guess my next question would be, what were your strategies to face that Mega Lucario?
Fake out it to get it in both damage range of my other hidden move and high jump kick. And then I knew he could take one hit, and I knew the Mega Lucario most likely was running a Swords with priority in close combat. So I knew I had one hit with Mega Cham, kind of like the last match. Mega Cham was just there to take one hit, kill the thing it was supposed to kill, and then go from there.
Big glass cannon energy.
Yeah. And then if it, say, died from something else, then maybe Zorora or some other moves that I had lined up to get chip damage that hopefully it would have been in at that point.
Yeah, we recognized the heavy-duty boots on the Zorora. We were like, why is this thing not affected by the sticky webs? And we realized, oh, it's because of that. That makes sense.
That's actually what I brought it with last game too. So I did change the Zorora setup. But yeah, a little disappointed in Moltres. I know, again, it was supposed to take one hit, but I got a bad roll on that one. Not really. I was hoping for a lucky roll. But yeah, the Rotom I knew I was gonna have issue with the whole match. So it was good. It was fun. I'm glad it was more I sucked in comparison than anything else. So that was really fun.
Splash, you want to ask a few of your questions?
Yeah, sure. So at what point in the match was your big oh fuck moment?
When Moltres died and I said GG.
Yeah, I saw that. And I was like, shoot.
Everything else, when they died or was sacked, like, I was okay with that. But the Moltres, I was hoping to get a hit off.
Yeah.
So.
That was a tough hit, but I'm looking forward in your next matches to see how you use Moltres. because, again, Moltres is one of my favorite Pokemon. So being able to see it played a little bit more competitively is really interesting. So I look forward to that.
Especially with
Yeah, I
Galarian.
was I was expecting to have to pull out some of some tricks,
Hmm.
especially down the line. I was going into this with a lot less preparation, I would say, of if this happens, what do I do? Okay, I do this, all that.
Hmm.
I was more like, I'll just go with the flow. So I was expecting, okay, if it gets down to it, or if it looks like I have a good shot at this, I'm willing to use some of the stuff I have left. But he killed it before it could show anything. So yeah,
Hey,
well,
you're just being a little bit secretive about what you're
yeah,
planning.
yeah. But
um,
yeah, so it was fun. It was good.
Sock, do you want to ask some of the questions that you had, or?
Yeah, sure. So you did mention pre-game, but you had zero preparation coming
Not
into this.
not zero, just basically none. I spent uh 4 or 5 matches, I think, prepping for it. Whereas the last game I spent like 3 days making sure I
Ooh.
had every situation. And this one was like, okay, does this kill that Pokemon? Does this kill that thing? Can it take this hit off of its main move? Okay, I'm good. Rather than seeing what every single check could do. Like last game, I knew almost what each move that they were going to use was going to do to Celesteela. Just whether or not I liked it or could avoid it, which I couldn't. Um, but this one, it was more just whatever happens, happens. I don't expect to win this one.
Hmm.
So yeah, it was good. It's fun, and that's why I'm enjoyed it so much more.
Yeah.
You played
Um,
valiantly. Yeah.
yeah. In spite of being 0-2, I still think you have great hopes for the future. There is one more thing I wanted to ask about as well. You took a Flygon and the Komodo out for Frostlass and Moltres Galar. Was there any thoughts about not trying to use any dragon types against it? Nick?
I sorta not like specifically that. I just was like Como. He's got a lot of checks on that side, or stuff that can at least take a hit. Um, and Flagon just was never in the picture, really. Slowking, faster threats. Just I wasn't gonna bring Flagon. Frostlass was there for potentially a setup if he had brought different Pokemon. Um, Otherwise, it was there to deal with Latios maybe a little bit if it got in a switch or anything like that, or just to straight up be sacked like I used it.
Yeah.
And the Moltres was if I get set up, then I can tear through his team. If I get
Hmm.
just a little bit, and yeah,
Yeah.
that was the idea going into it.
I did have an initial thought, and I'm not sure if I'd vocalize this on the stream, but perhaps Frostlass was there to try and absorb a potential close combat read as well.
Yeah, I actually thought he was gonna extreme speed when I sent it in. I was like,
That's
again,
what I thought.
if
Yeah.
I can get chip damage in on the Mega Lucario, I'm okay. Because again the Metachan was still alive at that point, so I was like, I'll get into this, I'll get an immunity, I'll get one hit off, I'll be fine. And then he bullet punched, and that blew the sash immediately, and then it was downhill.
Yep. Yeah, because the Bullet Punch would have killed the Zeraora there and try and just secure it with a priority, especially given how fast Zeraora is. One more thing that I have in my list here. The Rocky Helmet on the Toxapex.
Yeah, it was again for Lucario. Toxapex, I specifically brought for the other version of Lucario and stuff like that, or if I thought I could take a solid hit. Um, so again, wheedle it down because I didn't expect to always get the favorable matchup or even get a good matchup against the Lucario, and so I was bringing contingencies for the Lucario. Everything else was kind of there.
All right,
Well, that was
perfect.
good.
Yeah. I have one more question, then we'll send you on your way. This is a question I think I'm gonna make like a something I ask everybody. It's a very general question. Who is your team MVP for this match?
I'm gonna say Celesteela.
That-
Mm.
I know it wasn't the killer, it wasn't the any of that stuff, but the just being able to take a hit, just being able to be reliable, especially with the Latios plays. Like, that's yeah.
I
Yeah, we
think
got a
Celesteela.
message from in voice
I'll bring
discussion
him in. I'll bring him in.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Since whatever. Nick, what do you want to ask?
Yeah, I was literally also gonna say that Celesteela was nuts. I calced for that thing, and I was assuming I would kill the hell out of it, and I just didn't.
Yeah, it's bulky. And that wasn't even my bulky set, too. That was my just stay alive set.
Were you? You know what I've probably fucked up? You probably ran both HP and special defense on that, didn't you?
Let me check.
That's what I fucked up. I was assuming
Yeah.
max special defense for some reason, and then not any HP. That was some dumb calking on my part. I threw my differential at the end because I thought Latios could handle it, and then I was just wrong.
Honestly, dude, I thought Latios had it as well. I was like, okay. And then you switched up the moves, and I was able to get that little extra. Good stuff.
Yeah, I thought there might be the Zero Aura switch for the Volt Absorb, and I was like, I can't
Yeah.
risk that, but
Yeah.
Sorry not to hijack the stream all of a sudden
Oh,
with
no,
that.
I
was
have
just
a
very
question
curious.
for you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh.
The choice scarf Rotom and the life orb Latios, I had those the other way around. What was the call for that? Like, I mean, I know you said overheat, but was that it? Was it just for the overheat?
Well, it was part of it, but while I was doing my prep, I think I had Choice Scarf on Latios just to outspeed most of like what your team could run for Choice Scarfers. But then I realized that Rabombe's matchup against Medicham is so good that I could potentially get off that Quiver Dance Baton Pass.
That was
and
so
then
good.
Why
Yeah, we're
why
gonna
would I
ask about
need
that.
Choice Scarf? Because then Latios
Yeah.
can run 4 moves, Life Orb, and Sweep for the most part, unless it gets run down by Fake Outs. So that's why I was partying down Medicham so much in the fight.
Yeah, see, I was like, okay, he's gonna do the quiver dance. I'll just bring in something that can take it. It's okay. I've got a fake out in the back, and then you baton passed, and I was like, well, this is Celesteela's life now.
I needed
That
to
was really
show off
sick.
why I named them both Uh-oh, but one in lowercase and one
Yeah, Splotch
Yeah,
pointed
because
it out.
I brought that up, and I'm like, wait a second.
All right, I guess we can sort of pivot into Nick's questions. You can stick around, Tara, if you want, but if you don't
Yeah, yes,
want to,
please.
you can. All right, cool. Yeah, I mean that Rabombi, man, that move at the end, we were wondering for a little bit there, like, all right, 1% Rabombi, he's keeping it around. What's he got up his sleeve? And then we saw that Quiver Dance Baton Pass, and it was like, oh shit, this thing's gonna fuck up.
Honestly, Rabombe is just so sick. It's got so many good moves that it gets access to and a weirdly high speed tier. Like, it's frail as all hell, but as a lead and as like a good utility mon, you can't really do better. And it's just a great like fairy type that I could add to my team. I'm not joking when I say Rabombe is probably my most valued team member.
Oh, it's
just
a
so
sleeper
good.
for sure.
Yeah.
And it's quite a shock because that was your last Pokemon, and we were and some of us were like, oh, Rabombi, oh geez, but yeah, you've made it work. You've made it work here, so now I'm kind of scared as hell of it. Yeah, I mean, looking over
It's
Tara's,
unfair.
team, a lot of strong Pokemon here. What were your, what were your main strategies coming into here that you were hoping to be able to execute?
So I've been thinking like on and off about how to kill this Mega Medicham all week. Essentially, that was always going to be the win condition, is getting Mega Medicham to a point where it's no longer threatening. So my two wins were either Lucario Sweep or Latios Sweep. And you saw me try to greedily go for the Latios Sweep at the end just to show off. It didn't go super well because I totally underprepared for Celesteela. But Lucario has such a great matchup against almost every Mon on Tara's team. So a funny thing, I didn't keep it in against Mega Medicham until I had worn it down below 50% HP because I didn't bring Meteor Mash. And Meteor Mash would usually kill Medicham. But I didn't bring it because I brought Earthquake for Toxapex in case I got to the point where I didn't have anything left to beat Toxapex. Yeah, I brought... Because Swords Dance Earthquake into Toxapex is almost guaranteed kill. So with
Yeah.
any chip, I could have gotten it down, which is why I dropped a Will-O-Wisp early on in the battle so I could guarantee that chip damage.
Oh, I was so curious about that too, especially showing that you're scarfed. Like, did you assume I was gonna knock off? But
No, I had no idea what you were gonna do. I thought you might switch straight into Zera Aura just to like probe to see if I would like actually just hit the Volt Switch button or the Thunder button.
yeah,
So I went for Will-O-Wisp, knowing I either needed chip on Toxapex or I wanted to burn Zera Aura and make it not a threat for the rest of the fight.
gotcha.
So your use of like web, the I forgot what
The
the
sticky web?
name
Sticky
is.
web?
The sticky web.
Yeah.
That was pretty clutch, and I think that definitely helped throughout the battle, making sure that your Pokemon were first when it comes to attacks.
Yeah. I
How
definitely
far ahead
brought
had
it.
you planned on that?
So Rabombe's main gimmick usually is that it can do sticky webs. It's like one of 4 Pokemon that can actually use the move. So when you see it, that's like usually what you think, which is why it's really fun to bring other moves on top of that, just to capitalize on what your opponent thinks you're going to do with it. Sticky webs is just kind of a blanket check to higher speed threats. Like Zera Aura is something I was always going to have to like play around. So getting sticky webs on the field immediately is kind of like was my check to that. He ran heavy duty boots though, which was really smart because that keeps Zera Aura like threatening to my entire team. There's nothing I have that can outspeed it, especially if my choice scarf gets knocked off early on.
Right.
So it was really big brain doing that. There was also the chance that he ran a choice scarf on one of his mons, and that could have been very dangerous if he had run it like if he had brought like Komodo for example. That could have been really scary. Yeah.
I wanted to ask a question. I would say we had 2 big plays here that specifically caught my eye. We've talked about the Rabombi Baton Pass. I thought that was brilliant. Another big play though was the surprise Thunder Punch on the Medicham to take out the Thundurus.
Yeah.
What was your reaction
So-
on that? What were you thinking?
I was skipping through turns and racking my brain for how to kill a Medicham. No, I was planning for Medicham all week because I knew it was always going to be the hardest threat. It was either going to bring Ice Punch or Thunder Punch. There was a second where I thought it had brought both, and I was very scared. But like Thunder Punch would have been Greninja, Slowking, Tornadus counter, and Ice Punch would have been like Bulu, Tornadus, Latios counter. So it was pretty equal chance of bringing both or either. At that point, I didn't need Tornadus to win, and I knew I needed something to check. And there was always the chance that I didn't get set up with Lucario in time to take out Celesteela, so I decided Rotom Heat was the more important mon to keep healthy. So I sacked Tornadus in order to let Rotom come in without having any damage on it. Because like there was the chance that Fake Out came in and I got the damage off, but I felt like Tara was a good enough player to like adapt and predict. So I was kind of guessing that I might either take a lot of damage or just straight get knocked out, but at that point, anything Tornadus needed to kill was already gone or damaged.
Yeah.
So we were good. That was after the Moltres kill, right? That's when the tide really started to turn.
Yeah.
I think.
Saki, want to ask a few of your questions?
Yeah, sure. One of the things I noted from looking through your week 1 game is you've actually used all 10 of your mons thus far. Intentional?
I don't think it was intentional because like I brought a lot of the same mons from last week that were pretty obvious, but I felt like well, Crocodile might have been a good counter for Zera Aura. It's so weak to like all the potential fighting and ice types that Tara has, so I didn't bring it because of that. Other than that, Chansey's kind of falls into the same place where it walls things that aren't Mega Medicham, and he's always going to bring Mega Medicham, so it just seemed like a liability. Greninja or Bulu might have been a good choice, but I had brought so many Levitate and like Flying Mons that like I wasn't super worried about having grassy terrain, and Greninja's priority isn't better than Medicham's, so I wasn't going to count on it there. What I was worried about, though, was the potential for Mega Medicham to bring Bullet Punch, because that could have thrown a real monkey wrench into a lot of what I was doing. I don't know if you were tracking this, Tara, but I was so confident in Rabombe's matchup against Mega Medicham until this morning when I realized it got Bullet Punch, because Rabombe gets Shield to Dust, which protects it from Fake Out flinches. So I had that in the back of my head, like, okay, if Mega Medicham is ever on the field, I can take it out with Moonblast, no problem.
Yeah.
But if it had Bullet Punch, then it always beat Rabombe because there was no way to get around that. Yeah,
Gotcha.
Squish the bug.
yeah, it would squish the bug.
Oh, scarf bug. Um,
Wah.
so I've been asking this. I asked this to Tara. I'll ask this to you. Who's your team MVP for this match?
It's always Lucario. He's just so good. He's really like Lucario's really reliable to just have and to just take out mons. Galarian Moltres is not bad. It just had a bad matchup against Lucario, like a lot of Tara's mons did. So I could just kind of lean on that reliability and know that as long as I play around like what counters I can kind of predict from whatever mons he brings, then Lucario can put in the work it needs to. Um, but I'm gonna say Rabombe anyway because Rabombe's funny. And also very good.
Funny scarf bee man.
Always gotta go with the funny option.
Funny
Always.
bee meme.
All right. So thank you guys for answering these questions. We're gonna take another quick break, and then we're gonna go into the last two battles. So yeah, we will be right back. Alright, hey everybody, welcome back. Sorry for a little bit of a break. We were discussing next steps and everything. Tara had
we're
to
back.
skedaddle, but we're back. Nick's going to stick with us for this quick session here as we go over
Hello.
the two battles that happened over the last few days in this round. We still have a lot of battles to go, so make sure that if you haven't had your battle yet, to please schedule that, because it is Wednesday at 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. Where the round is closed. So make sure in the next few days to figure that out. And yeah. So the first battle, I'm not going to go over it too much, but it was one against me and Tree. I wanted to specifically talk about. I mean, like, I wanted to point out that, like, it was a 6-0, but there were a few moments in there that I was like, oh shit, I'm fucked. Like this one, for example, at the very beginning, when it was I brought out my Nidoking. I'm trying to think of what I expected. I think I was expecting the Ampharos to come out swinging because, like, the Manaphy did pretty decent in the first game. And so I was expecting the Ampharos to immediately come out and start wrecking shit. So I was like, all right, let's bring out the Nidoking because it does a pretty wide coverage. And then I got the Virizion, and I was like, oh shit, well, fuck, I need to switch out. So there's a lot of panic switching at the beginning of there. Ultimately, I was able to get off the Tail Glow with the Manaphy, and it's unfortunate. I love my Manaphy, and it ended up working pretty well for me. I won't go too far into this battle, though. I think Tree has a fantastic team, and I think she will do pretty good coming up. I can't wait for the Tree versus Sleepy fight. That'll be really fun.
I'm looking forward to that as well, especially since they're going to be right next to each other when they're doing it.
Yes, round 5 will be the best round of the series because of that.
It better be.
And us, you and me.
And us!
Yay!
But I'm just going to beat your Manaphy into a pulp. I'm going to learn from this mistake.
Not if I don't bring it at all.
Hey, friends. If you see Manaphy on Jay's team, kill it with extreme prejudice, and please plan for it.
But it's
Sounds like
cute.
fun.
Its
Listen
name
to
is
that.
Ponyo.
Yeah, I did see that, and I was like, oh, okay,
One
it
is
gets
not
a
even a
pass.
good Ghibli movie. CMV.
All right.
That's
see,
it is kind of
I-
mid, but
I
it's still a
enjoyed it.
it's
I
still a
enjoyed
Ghibli
it.
movie though. Like, it's a Ghibli movie at the end of the day. I mean,
Yeah, it's a good movie, but it's not a good Ghibli movie.
my least favorite Ghibli movie is Howl's Moving Castle, but I'm not going to get into that. Let's go into the next battle. We won't dwell on this too much.
You can't drop that and run away.
I've been dropping that for as long as I've been watching Ghibli movies with great joy, as the hipster I am. Let's go into the second battle. This one has a lot to talk about here. It's Mount versus Sleepy that we'll have playing out here while we sort of go over it. We'll have it playing out on the stream. Yeah, I think who do you guys like? What were you guys expecting from this match? I mean, obviously we had Sleepy coming in here with a grudge on his shoulders, having been defeated by Eric, really wanting to make a name for himself. So he comes in here and he had about I think it was the exact same team from last week.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the exact same team. I wasn't sure how much Sleepy was going to change it up or improve from week to week. It seems like he did a lot better keeping Pelipper alive early on this battle, which is always like imperative for a rain team. Mount brought a lot of interesting counters, though. She did a lot of preparation and research beforehand, and I think it paid off quite a bit.
Yeah,
I guess that does kind of explain why I thought, why does the Gastrodon have Rain Dance itself when Pelipper has Drizzle, but it does make sense that you can also just set it up earlier on rather than having to rely on sending in Pelipper in order to try and get the rain up.
yeah. With like Pokemon Showdown, it clearly shows you all the Pokemon in the team. So if like every single time you're sending out the same Pokemon first, it's a lot easier to plan for. So I understand how, yeah, the Gastrodon having that Rain Dance gives you sort of a backup plan.
Yeah, playing the information game and having just in case of lightning move counter for
Yep.
setting up that rain.
Yeah, but I was very, very impressed by Mount's planning, some of the movesets. Later on, you'll see like a Delphox knock off the Damp Rock from the Pelipper, just absolutely crippling it. And then when this happens to be when the rain ends, when then the Delphox stays in on the Pelipper and hits it with a Thunder Punch, which I think was
Yeah,
where
can
I
you just pause it?
That turns the entire match around.
yeah, I can pause it.
Yeah. I'm just curious on. So there were a few things I wanted to talk about just as went through. I was curious about going into the Zapdos after Rotom had attempted a Blizzard on turn 3, which then the Blizzard landed and immediately got the Zapdos kill.
I think we can probably chalk that up to Sleepy's lack of experience with the game. I don't know that he didn't realize the type advantage from it, but I think he might have thought Zapdos could take it and then dish out some damage or do whatever job he needed to do before it went down.
Yeah.
Either that, or he was assuming Mount would change it up after, I believe, missing the first one.
Yeah.
We'd really need to ask him to find out what his game plan was there.
I think there's a big stigma around Rotom Frost as one of the weaker Rotoms. So maybe perhaps there was the idea that the Rotom Frost did not possess the ability to get that Zapdos or outspeed the Zapdos, and then maybe the Zapdos could find a way into it beforehand. Definitely, that's a good point, though. I mean, the Blizzard came out and the Zapdos was gone, which was a huge cripple for the team in this battle. Definitely, that Zapdos is a huge threat on Sleepy's team because it has that electricity in the thunder access in a rain team, which is huge.
Yeah, the ability for Zapdos to potentially have checked Lucario and Corviknight and even Absol at a certain point, because you can really make it physically bulky if you want and put some static on it to really punish physical offense. Might have helped a lot when dealing with this setup Corviknight that Mount brought for a second week in a row. So it going down, big loss early on.
Yeah.
I think we see later on also a huge thing is that Mega Absol and its Magic Bounce.
Yep.
It completely...
Mega Absol, definitely.
Yeah, this turn, missing that Hydro Pump. I don't even think that would get the kill on that Corviknight, but still missing it to not be able to get any kind of damage on it just hurts so much.
It's very tough, yeah.
This happened quite a bit last week, too, where Sleepy missed a number of Hydro Pumps.
That was me, I think. I missed a lot against Kura. Maybe Sleepy as well, but definitely, I've been hit by the Hydro Pump bug myself, so it's very much a risk.
Yep.
We did see the burn on the Corviknight, which helped out a little bit with Scald.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seeing how much damage Scald did off of Pelipper, though, you got to consider how much extra damage under Rain, Kingdra would have done. I don't know if it would have killed, but it damn well would have really crippled Corviknight for the rest of the fight.
Yep.
And yeah, this Delphox switch in.
It's such a fun move. I just love seeing this.
We were talking about this. The Thunder Punch, which doesn't do a lot, but it definitely is oh shit, and then the Damp Rock. Yeah.
Yeah.
You love to see it. Just so fun.
It's a huge point.
Interesting tech that I'll be on the lookout for if I have to fight Mount. I don't know if she's on my schedule later down the line, but
yeah, Magician. That's a.
This is a pretty good read here going into the Gastrodon, because the Gastrodon could take a couple hits.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know how much that crit mattered there. I don't think it would have KO'd otherwise. So
it's cool seeing us. It's cool seeing us be a big Rotom league, though. We have some pretty powerful Rotoms. The Rotom took out the Zapdos. Here.
The crit mattered. The crit definitely mattered.
Yeah. Rotom's such a good Pokemon to bring. Levitate is always a great ability, and then having pivot abilities, having that one big stab move for whatever type it is for its form, always good. It just can fit on different teams really well. I know you have Rotom Wash, and obviously I had Rotom Heat from earlier, and it really did wonders for dancing around Tara's team. But yeah.
Doesn't Maggie have Rotom Mo, or is it Fan?
I think she might have Mo. I think you're right. I have to check.
Yeah.
I'm
also just checking through. It was actually a range also to get the crit KO on the Rotom Frost.
So this is a huge point that I was talking about earlier. Just this Magic Bounce just completely renders this Ferrothorn useless. Just absolutely useless.
Thunder Wave gone. Spike's gone. Any kind of status gun, you can only really attack if you have it.
And we have these Sword Stances.
Yeah.
Mega Absol might not be the strongest Mega in the league, but it definitely does have a lot of pressure against defensive and more stally mons. It's really, you can't touch it with status moves for the most part, which is very much appreciated.
Yeah.
So throw Chop for the kill on the Ferrothorn, whose main thing is like we said, getting set up sentry hazards that we're not able to go on, and then there's the
Yeah.
knockoff, and Mount pulls off what, I mean, I call it an upset. I think a lot of people expected Sleepy to win, but I don't think a lot of people are surprised by this by any means, because I mean, Mount came into this league. She actually, like, she was one of the people who DM'd us about a Pokemon that she was researching that she thought should be banned, and we were like, oh shit, yeah. And it was like a Gen 8 Pokemon that I don't really know much about, so it's like, fuck, like, she knows more than I do. She's been researching, god damn it.
Power of research, everyone.
Yeah, Mount's investment and doing like real preparation, I definitely think will take her very far in this league, and she'll probably I'm seeing her improve like week to week. Like she's going to be a threat by the end of this, which
Yeah,
will be
she's
very
scary.
fun to see.
I think doing this and actually like having people prep for their battles, we're going to see a lot of people who don't have a lot of Pokemon experience improve. So Maggie,
Definitely.
for
Oh, yeah.
example, she's definitely improved since we were doing drafts. Like I showed her what to look for in Pokemon, and she's already been improving. So
Yeah, before her match last week, which was against Mount, coincidentally, I was helping her do a lot of her prep, and she was picking up on a lot of like what different kinds of status moves do, what kind of like what are hazards, what are hazard removal, that sort of thing. And then she absolutely made use of basically everything we talked about. She set up hazards, which crushed Mount's plan. She used taunt really effectively in one scenario. She used pivot moves. It was really impressive to just watch her play really well, despite having never played before, you know?
absolutely.
It's just great to watch. Yeah, this is why I love this league. The fact that we're taking people who are just like they want to learn, they want to get really good at this game, and we're seeing them learn and get really good at this game. And it's like, fuck yeah, it's so fun and like a nice
great.
environment. Yeah, another name like that I'm gonna look out for is Rip too. I've seen really get into this and really do her
I think I've got
research.
Ripped up next on my schedule.
Yeah, I think like
Awesome.
a final question I want to ask about this one is like, obviously Sleepy is 0-2. Where do you see him going in the future here? Would you see his performances being like in the future? Because I think that he's a fantastic battler, and I think he has a team with a lot of potential.
Yeah, I think, not to dominate the conversation more than I have been, but I think he showed a lot of knowledge up front when he drafted a rain team pretty successfully. I think if he puts in some time week to week for doing prep, that's different than like just bringing the same team, where he actually like preps for his specific opponent, which you kind of have to do in a format like this. He'll show a lot of improvement going through, because the battle practice plus actually being prepared for unique opponents will be very dangerous to deal with.
All right. If there's no other comments, I think that about wraps up everything we had planned for this stream. Anything else you guys want to talk about? I guess we can talk about upcoming stuff, but I guess I already covered that. Like, everybody, make sure to do your battles, because you don't want the I think the forfeit loss negatively affects tiebreakers to go into playoffs. I think I have that in the rules. So definitely.
I've actually got to go right now myself.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for having me for talking about the battles post my match. Tara, if you're still there, that was a really fun match. I hope we get to play again in a bracket. And honestly, we could just play outside of schedule now that we've done our match.
Yep.
I'll see you guys later.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for everybody who's
Later, Nick.
watching. Bye, guys.
Bye. All right, and
Well, no, yeah.
I mean, I guess nothing left to do but end the stream ourselves. I want to say thank you to Sock and Splotch, who were fantastic commentators throughout this entire thing. It's been a lot of fun.
Anytime.
It's been a great pleasure.
Yeah. And thank you for everyone who's watching. I guess we'll sign off. It seems to be a thing now that Sundays are going to be the de facto battle nights. So maybe we'll see you next Sunday, or we'll see
Or
when
whenever
that
we're
happens.
open.
Yeah, exactly. We'll figure out when we get there. But thanks everybody, and have a good Sunday night.
Bye, guys.